Hello? Shoyan here. I'm a carpenter based in Japan. Today, I'm installing Hinoki cypress flooring on top of the completed plywood underlay and on the first step. I'm following the same installation process as before. In the Japanese style room, we use 30mm floorboards, but this time we're using 15mm thick Hinoki cypress boards. Before laying the floor, I notched the bottom of any protruding parts, such as this large pillar. We laid a 9mm plywood underlay on top of the original flooring, so with 15mm boards, it's challenging to notch the bottom of the pillar with a saw. In such cases, I plane a piece of floorboard that will be used, place it on the floor, and notch the bottom using a fine saw. This method allows you to notch the pillar to the exact height as the floorboard. This pillar is known as a daikoku bashira, a thick central pillar used in Japanese houses. It is 24 centimeters thick. It's quite impressive. In the past, 24 centimeter pillars were standard. Nowadays, daikoku bashira are less common. Even in a large house, if there are 4 continuous columns, they are not installed. They will be installed if 5 continuous columns are used. In a large house, 12 continuous columns are used. If there are 12, 2 daikoku bashira will be installed in the center of the house. Traditionally, the thick pillar closer to the kitchen was called daikoku bashira. The one in the Japanese style room was called shokoku bashira or ebisu bashira. Those names are nostalgic. Now that I've finished notching the bottom where it overlaps, I decide on the location and number of floorboards to use. In Japanese architecture, 1 ken serves as a standard measurement referring to the length between the columns. This house uses kansaima, where 1 ken equals 1.91 meters, wider than the common shinroku of 1.82 meters. Because of this, modern building materials don't fit well with this house, including the floorboards I'm using this time. I will install the boards at right angles to the kamachi. When there's a small amount of wood, I always measure and cut all the wood to confirm the numbers. Even if one board is missing, I must get the next bundle of boards. I also make sure to do this when the shape of the area to be installed is complicated. This time, we only have one extra 1 meter long floorboard. That's why it's crucial to confirm the total number of boards before processing. I start installing the first board. I have notched the bottom of the daikoku bashira, but this area is difficult to install since there are columns and stairs. Also, the entrance trim has irregular shapes. It takes quite some time to install the first board. I trace the curve and the shape of the area to be installed and do my best. When installing the first floorboard, I cut it to the proper length first. Then I place it at the right angles to the entrance kamachi. Then I use this 2mm plywood, which has an accurate width as a reference. By sliding this, I can simply trace the curve and shape of the threshold, pillar, stairs, and more to this board. I think this is the best way. It's very difficult to install a floorboard that fits this area since many parts are protruding or recessed. Next, I hand plane the boards. I make sure to use 2 hand planes with different blade protrusions. The first plane's blade protrudes more than the second one. I tend to fine adjust the boards with the same hand plane without adjusting the blade's protrusion if there is only one. As a result, some parts of the board can become concave. It's no problem if it's partially convex because that part can be removed. But if it's partially concave, there's no turning back, and I need to remove the remaining parts to make it straight. So it's important to plane it straight. Now that I've finished processing, I install the first floorboard. In the case of 15mm floorboards, I'm using 4mm wide, 38mm staples to secure it. I carefully install the floorboards. The most important thing is to make sure to trace the uneven parts and adjust the size of the floorboard to fit properly. The floorboard should not be removed once installed because it may get scratched and cracked. Since there's only one chance, it's important to concentrate on measuring and trimming the size of the floorboard. This is the basis of the first floorboard. From the second board, it becomes easier. As long as you measure and cut the floorboard to fit both ends, you can install them. Compared to the first floorboard, it's really easy. I reach the edge quickly when a floor is at right angles like this. When the floorboard fits the area from above, it's crucial to measure and cut it to the exact size that perfectly fits the area. In contrast, the floorboard doesn't need to be precisely cut if the bottom of the pillar or protruded part is notched because the floorboard fits into the notch. It's more difficult to install by exactly fitting the last floorboard because I need to measure each of the small sections' size and shape. The bottom of the pillars can be notched for the first floorboard. I always think when renovating, but it's tricky to match the new boards to the original building. I was able to install it. I'd rate it around 90 out of 100 for quality. The installation is easy from this stage. I just installed the floorboards one by one. The entrance hall and hallway of this house were really complicated shapes. It's like installing the first board, the last board, the first board, the last board, and the last board again. It was a really difficult hallway. Now I start installing the floorboard on the first step. This area is called kobuchi or shikidai in Japanese. First, I determine the location of the floorboards. When installing them at right angles to the kamachi, I make sure that the floorboards are aligned straight to the floorboards on the higher step. That way, it looks good when installed. I will finish the floor with oil by myself, like I did last time. I'm not a professional, just an amateur at coding. I make sure to protect areas. This oil is called gloss clear oil. I will first oil the floorboards thoroughly. After the oil penetrates, I will wipe it off. After wiping off thoroughly, I will polish the floor. So it's a 3-step process. Even though there are 3 steps, it's less prone to mistakes compared to a single application coating. So even amateurs like me can finish it well with this oil. Now I wipe it off and polish it. Unlike cedar, Hinoki cypress looks beautiful after being polished. It becomes reddish and really beautiful. It's worth polishing.
감시모 하이트 콜 대충되고서 진짜 알아요.
知らん。
I have finished renovating the entrance. The planks attached to the kamachi and floorboards are both made of Hinoki cypress. The old spongy floor is now sturdy. The owner can walk with peace of mind. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.